Rube, have you calmed down from all the excitement of that preseason game yet?
Well, it took me most of yesterday to really kind of come back down to earth from the excitement of the game and the excitement of you battling a 1976 rotary phone. But yeah, I think we all kind of survived Saturday night. I'm glad to see you made it back safely.
I did. That's what
Maryland.
the preseason's all about. Just get through it, right?
Yeah.
This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan, Reuben, Frank, and Dave Zangaro. The Eagles did practice on Monday. That's why we're here to do a podcast. A lighter practice today. They were in shorts and shells, not even full pads, about an hour and a half. So this was a light day because they're gearing up for what should be a really fun 2 days of joint practices.
Yeah, you would think joint practices is just such a great way to break up the monotony, the grind of camp. All the players will say they just look forward to playing against different guys and beating up on their own teammates. And you get to see guys kind of respond to unscouted looks. Like everybody knows, like Cam Jurgens has taken so many reps against Jordan Davis. He knows what he does, and they know each other so well. You don't get surprised too often. When you play another team, you do. And they can be very intense, and we've seen some great ones over the years. And going back, this is our third set up in Foxborough, I think.
I wasn't there for the ones in, I think, 15.
Murder Leg. Yeah, that was Murder Leg's. He was trying to kill people on that hill behind the goalpost. And I remember the Patriots being down here for one set. I think that's when Brady went 22 for 22, thrown against Curtis March every snap. So yeah, you're looking for teams in the other conference, the teams that you're not going to play, teams that are geographically not too far. And yeah, so here we are, and we'll be up there when we'll be doing pods after both practices, Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, this should be fun. I always enjoy joint practices, and that's really, I mean, we've talked about this. That is their game. I mean, the starters are not going to play in week 2 of the preseason. They're going to get all their work in on Wednesday and Thursday, which makes sense. We've talked about it. It's a controlled environment. It stinks for people who can't go there and watch it in Foxborough because you don't get to see the starters until week 1, but I think the Eagles deserve the benefit of the doubt when it comes to those things because they've been one of the healthier teams. They've been a playoff team in every year. Like they deserve the benefit of the doubt.
The best September team in the NFL since Nick got here. So they're always ready for the season, even though it might not seem like it.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into today's practice. I think the most notable thing was who was on the field. Some players returned to practice on Monday. That includes Devontae Smith, Quinyon Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, and Cooper and Q were full, so that means they'll be practicing Wednesday and Thursday, which everybody wants to see AJ versus Quinyon. So that'll be kind of the featured attraction, I think, of joint practices. I'm not sure if Devontae is going to be ready. I kind of hope so, but we'll find out Wednesday. But he'll do something, I would think, up there, but whether he's full, I don't know yet.
Yeah, he was not a full participant in this practice. He was limited. Remember, he missed 7 days of practice with that hamstring injury. So it was just good to see him back on the field with a helmet. And we knew they were going to take things slow with him. There was no need to rush him. But he was back on the field, did some 7-on-7s, did not do 11-on-11s. That is the next step for him. So
looked great.
Yeah, he looked like Devontae. So hopefully we get to see him against Christian Gonzalez up there, another really good cornerback in the NFL, one of the better ones.
Yeah, and we saw Devontae. I mean, they're going to ramp guys up. They're very conservative, and that's the way they should be. We saw Devontae last week do some pretty aggressive drills. We saw him sprinting and doing some agility drills on a side field before practice. So it kind of felt like he was close. And, people are going to say, it's Devontae. He's in his 6th season. He's been with Jalen his whole career. He does. This is a new offense. It's a new system. It's a new scheme, a new play caller. Even a veteran like Devontae needs the reps out there. So it's good that he's back.
I don't know if he needs them, but I'm glad he's back.
I don't think it hurts.
Okay.
I think it's probably a good thing that he's got some time. I mean, if he didn't, could he go out in week 1 and be Devontae? Probably, but I think it's good to get the work.
Sure. We saw some, certainly better to have him back than not back.
Yeah.
We saw some good signs from Mekhi Lemon. He was not practicing today, but late, like after practice or like kind of toward the end of the practice day. He wasn't in uniform, but he went through some receiver drills like the catch circuit. Then he was working on a side field, went to the jugs machine before practice. So it looks like he's doing more, getting closer. I don't know when he'll be back, but it was like today we saw the most encouraging signs from Mekhi Lemon.
At least he was moving, which he hasn't been doing other than walking around the field. So he won't practice up in New England, but you hope he's.
I don't know. I think there's a potential for him to maybe come back as a limited participant up there.
I guess it's possible. I'd be surprised, but it is possible. We'll see. But you would think by next week he should be out there.
Yeah. Now he's someone who I does need the work.
No doubt.
We can argue about Devontae, but I think everyone agrees Mekhi Lemon, a rookie who got hurt so early in training camp, who
August 3rd
is going to be a big part of this offense. Like he needs to be out there as much as he can be.
Yeah, they both got hurt. Devontae and Mekhi both got hurt August 3rd, 2 weeks ago today, in that indoor practice in the bubble. Unless Mekhi, he practiced at the beginning of that session, so it wasn't the day before. So it's been 2 weeks and a handful of practices, but some off days in there. But yeah, Mekhi needs the work, and my confidence in him getting to number 2 by the time the season opens on September 13th isn't super high, because the time he's missed has been an opportunity for some other guys, and I think Dontavian Wicks is ahead of him right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think they're going to go into the season, and if Lemon can get back and have a good finish to this, I think he's number 3. I think they can work him in the slot, which is like kind of what they really need. I think they would prefer to have Wicks on the outside with Devontae Smith on the outside, and then run Lemon inside they can move these guys around, and they have the versatility, but someone's going to take the bulk of their snaps inside. And I think Mekhi Lemon makes the most sense.
Yeah. I think he's the most natural guy for that spot, and that's where he's going to end up playing most of his reps, I would think, once he does get back.
Some other good injury news today. Keyshawn James Newby and Cole Wisniewski, the 2 rookie 7th round picks who have missed most of camp, they were back in a limited fashion. So that's exciting. These guys, they have to work now to try to make the roster. I just released my 53 man that we'll go over a little bit later. Neither of those 2 are on it because it's really tough when you don't practice all of training camp as 7th round picks, but they are now back with enough time that if they have a good end to the summer, they have a chance to make the team.
Yeah, at this point, it's probably a small chance. They're late round rookies who've missed a good chunk. They both got hurt. Was it August 1st or the end of July?
Around there. Wisniewski got hurt on July 30th. James Newby got hurt on August 1st.
Yeah. So that's a big chunk. That's almost all of camp. So they got some making up to do, but they'll have that opportunity now. Yeah,
if one of those guys were to make the team, I'm looking at Cole Wisniewski. I think they're light at safety, obviously, and if he has a good finish to camp, I think he's on the team. So,
and he should be a good special teamer.
You would think so. He's a bigger safety than they have.
Yeah.
Curious to see how that plays, but I thought he had a good first day back. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Some other guys who are hurt. Tank Bigsby is new on that injury report. Mac McWilliams, Johnny Wilson back on the injury report with a knee injury. Sean Wade, who had that nice hustle play, has a couple injuries he's dealing with. Grant Calcaterra didn't practice. John Ojukwu, Jacorian Bennett, Mac McWilliams. So this happens when you get to the preseason. Guys playing games, they get hurt. So it was a longer injury list today.
Yeah, a little too long. They're pretty light. Like you look at cornerback. How many corners are out right now? 4.
Yeah, which is why before practice they signed a new cornerback, Isaiah Bolden. They released your guy Holland Pierce.
My guy?
Yeah, Holland Pierce is your guy.
Okay.
You don't claim Holland Pierce?
I do. I claim, but I need a new guy now.
Yeah.
I have to work on that.
Want to get to the depth chart stuff?
Yeah.
Quinion Mitchell, Cooper Jean were out there with the ones. They did not take all their reps. So then we saw Keely Ringo as the next corner up on the outside. Michael Carter was the next nickel corner up. Keely Ringo hanging around, all these injuries. He could still make this team.
Yeah, I think you said last week you had him on your initial 53, and he hasn't done anything to change that. I mean, Saturday was kind of typical Keeley. He made some bad mistakes, and then he made up for it with
and he teased you with the ability.
What was really, I watched that play a couple of times. It was really impressive play that he turned in, staying in bounds, keeping the ball off the ground. And that's Keeley. I mean, he's gonna get your attention both ways, probably.
Andy Dalton was up first with the twos. He looks firmly like the number 2 quarterback right now. Curious to see if that changes. This was a weird practice though, because I'd venture to say like 75% of the reps went to the first team, and there wasn't much left over.
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Yeah.
I still think Tanner's better than Dalton.
Yeah, it's just, well, what are you looking for? It's like, I think Tanner is more physically gifted than Andy Dalton, but I'm also not in the meeting rooms. I think that Andy probably shows up really strongly in those meeting rooms. He knows the offense better. I think over the last week and a half or so in practice, I think they both kind of stunk in the game, but the last week and a half or so of practice, I think he has closed the gap and maybe even outperformed Dalton. If you zoom out and look at the whole stretch of training camp, I think I'd have Tanner McKee ahead of him, but it doesn't appear like he's getting more reps than him.
No, it doesn't. I'd just be more confident with him, but we'll see. I mean, Saturday's going to be big for both these guys.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to what I think was the biggest highlight of the day. It was a great play by Michael Carter. It was a throw that Jalen Hurts tried to rifle in there. I don't blame him. I thought he did get it to where it needed to be. Quez Watkins and Michael Carter ended up wrestling for the football, and Carter got the better of him, wrestled it away as they went to the ground. It was a nice interception.
It was. You'd like to see Quez maybe be a little stronger there.
Not his game.
It's not his game. That's not what he does. But still, you don't like to see the ball kind of snagged out of any receiver's hands. But Carter's been good. I think he's having a good summer. And
now we should mention that this play was from the nickel position.
Right. It was an impressive rep for him.
We've talked about this, and I kind of stand by my stance on the safety position because it looks like they're going to go with Marcus Epps, but I would go with Michael Carter, and that's nothing against Epps. I think he's right now maybe their best option, but I'm looking at this defense thinking, man, like the high watermark for this defense between one of those two players being on the field, I think is with Michael Carter.
I think that's fair. I wonder if Vic just kind of likes having Carter around to back up multiple positions.
And that's valuable and he does get on the field a little bit as the extra. That's the 6th defensive back in the dime package.
They don't play a lot of dime.
Yeah, which they really don't. They're not a dime team, but I wonder if maybe the problem is you're not taking one of the linebackers off the field that much. They're really good.
Yeah, but I think that might be it. But I don't think Epps has had a bad camp. I think he's kind of had an uneventful camp. I haven't seen a lot of mess ups, but it hasn't been a lot of big plays. Carter's made plays.
Yeah. What do you think about that in terms of a safety? Like, are you fine with a quiet camp? If we're not thinking about him, he's probably not getting beat. He's probably not blowing it out there. But with Carter, like, we've seen more flash.
Yeah, but we haven't really seen Carter mess up either. So he's made the big plays. I mean, maybe here and there. I'm fine going with the guy that doesn't make big plays or mess up, but I think Carter's been better. I just think he's been a little bit better than Epps, and I like Epps. And I do think Epps is going to be the starter, but I just think Vic
Vic just trusts him.
Yeah, that might be part of it. And I just think he likes having a jack of all trades as a backup, a guy who can do a lot of things, and he'll play. I mean, somebody's going to get hurt. He can back up safety. He can back up slot. I'm sure he plays in the dime. I'm sure he could. If they're in an emergency, he could give you outside corner reps. Yeah,
early in camp, it looked like maybe Jonathan Jones would be the backup outside corner and the backup nickel. I no longer believe that. I think if something were to happen to Cooper DeJean, Michael Carter would be on the field.
I agree.
Okay. Quinyon Mitchell, his first series back after missing a day of practice. The second play is a pass to Dontavian Wicks, kind of an in-breaking route. Quinyon just all over him, bats down the pass. It's like, oh yeah, that guy's really good.
Yeah, he reminds you of that every day that he's out there. He's just so sticky. He's always in the right place, doesn't back down. He's physical, he's aggressive, and he just gets his hands on so many balls.
He does. He was excellent in this practice, excellent all camp. I thought Hollywood Brown had maybe his best play overall of training camp today.
It was a good one.
So it was a little pass from Jalen Hurts to Hollywood Brown in the flat. It was a short pass. Brown had his back turned to the defense. Reek Woolen in off coverage then started to break on the route. And this is something that A.J. Brown was always so good at. Back to the defense, just making a split-second decision of which way to turn your body and then accelerating for yards after catch. That's exactly what Hollywood Brown did. And then he has the speed to pick up a lot of yards after catch. And he's kind of an interesting player because we know he has a ton of speed, but he's never been like a down the field pass threat as much as you would think for a guy with his kind of speed. But this is where you see it.
Yeah, I thought it was, I don't know if it was the first rep where we've really seen his full potential, his full skill set, but I mean, he looked great on that rep. He looked fast he was elusive. He had great sense of where Reek Woolen was and got those yards after the catch. I thought it was a really impressive rep by him.
Totally agree. We mentioned the Jalen Hurts interception. I thought his best play of the day, though, was a play action. It was kind of like a play action boot to the right side. He stopped on a dime, threw across his body back to the middle of the field to Elijah Moore. And it almost kind of like set up like a screen pass. And we've seen him be willing to do that, to go play action look and then throw back the other way. It's been fun to watch him open himself up to these kinds of plays.
Yeah. And I think, he's clearly embraced this offense and he's clearly getting more and more comfortable. I think he's had a good summer. He's fun to watch. He looks really good, I think. And he looks really comfortable and doing a lot of new things.
Mm-hmm. And, it's funny because we spent so much time talking about Andy Dalton and Tanner McKee. Jalen Hurts it's very noticeable how much better he is than the backups.
Well, yeah.
Which it goes without saying, but like we need to say it sometimes because people talk about Jalen Hurts like he's not a really good quarterback, but like he is, and I think he's one of the better starters in the league. He's certainly a top half of the league starter. And
I got him 17th, I think.
Well, that wouldn't be top half of the league.
No. Mm-hmm. Well, there's more than maybe of starters. Yeah. 17th. That was Elijah Moore. What do you think of Elijah Moore?
Had a solid camp. The problem is like, if it comes down to him or Hollywood Brown, I think they're probably going to stick with Hollywood.
Yeah. He's been better than Hollywood. But they gave Hollywood money.
And we'll get into that later, but I think that's the way they would lean.
I'm guessing you don't have Elijah on your 53. We'll get to that, but you think you can get Elijah Moore through waivers?
Sure.
Probably, right?
Yeah. Is he vested?
I believe he is.
Okay, so you wouldn't have to do that. He could go elsewhere.
Let me look. Yeah, I think he's been in the league more than 4 years.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. But then again, if you cut him, he might not want to be here.
For 5 years.
Okay. We'll get back to the 53 in a minute.
Yeah.
Darius Cooper had a nice catch on a low pass. You haven't done that in a while.
I know. I don't know. It just seemed like the thing to do.
It wasn't like a big work day for him, but he got some work with the ones, caught that low pass, seems to catch everything in practice, which is why it was so shocking that he dropped the ball during the game on Saturday.
It was really surprising. And I think we were watching that game. We're like, he hasn't done that in practice. You see guys do things in games that they don't do in practice. And there was a lot of that on Saturday night.
Yeah. Vic Fangio was dialing up the blitz a little bit on Monday. I think it was just something he came into this practice wanting to work on. We saw Zach Bond get sent a few times. We saw Cole Wisniewski get sent from the safety position. Like Vic was having some fun out there today.
He was. Interesting to see Cole in his first practice back being asked to blitz. Yeah, why not?
Got a sack on Cole, a sack in quotes against Cole Payton. Zach Bond got home on one of the blitzes, and then Will Shipley actually had a really nice rep in pass pro to stop him on another.
I wonder if we'll see Bond blitz more this year.
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think both Bond and Jahad Campbell have the ability to do it. I don't know if they're going to have the knack for it that Nakobe Dean did. Nakobe, I mean, that became such a weapon for them last season. He was like a freight train going downhill. He was just running everyone over. And they even started the choo-choo celebration for Dean because he was so good at it last year. I don't know if these guys are going to be as good at it, just timing it up right, but they can both do it. And they're both versatile that you can like blitz them, you can line them up, you can like send them down and have them cover up as an overhang player. You can drop them in coverage. That's the fun part about having linebackers like this.
Linebackers with some versatility. Nakobe, he was a great blitzer because he was, like you said, he had great instincts, a great feel for space, but he was so quick. He would get there so quick, and then he would finish.
He was fearless too.
He was. He still is, I'm sure. But he knew how to finish, and if he didn't get to the quarterback, he knew how to scare the crap out of him, so he threw it away.
Some odds and ends here. There was a fumble on a pitch from Hurts to Shipley, so they got to clean that up. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., big hit on Jaquindon Jackson, the running back, in the hole. We've talked about how good Trotter is just getting to his responsibility in the run game. He's so quick laterally, but this was a big thud against a running back who weighs 233 pounds, and he stopped him dead in his tracks.
Yeah, I think everyone in South Philly heard that one.
Dallas Goedert had 2 drops on one play.
You know, he'll go a month without dropping a pass in practice. He dropped 2 on one snap.
It was a funny play. He was wide open.
Wide open.
Hurts put it right on him. He bobbled it, popped it up pretty high in the air to himself, and then dropped it when it came back down. So it was a kind of a wacky play, a rare one for Dallas Goedert.
He doesn't drop many.
No. My stupid observation of the day.
I guessed and I was wrong.
What did you guess it was going to be?
I was guessing you would mention that there was a substitute DJ, and he actually managed to make the music worse than it has been. But no.
I don't complain about the music at practice.
I don't either.
My take on the music as practice is it's not for me.
Fair.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about UR Bernard and Joshua Weru. I think the Eagles every year should have people who have never played football on the team so we can track their progress. And I know that the NFL does this international pathway program to expand the game, and I'm fine with it if you keep doing it that way. But I don't care who it is. I just want people who have never played football and are athletic to be out there on the field so I can watch how much they get better from the first day of training camp to final cut day. Yeah,
that'd be fun. You can make it a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that.
We just signed our electrician.
Yeah, or like anytime one of those like former high school or college athletes like shows up outside of the complex with a sign.
Marvin Hargrove.
Yeah,
Buddy signed him.
Bring those guys in. Let them see what they can do.
Remember the Marv Hargrove story?
No, I was
probably not born yet.
Yeah.
Marvin Hargrove was he was from Willingboro, and he showed up at JFK right here where we're sitting, and asked Buddy. He had played college football at Richmond, and he was he was an all-conference receiver, but he didn't get into a camp. And the Eagles had a lot of issues at wide receiver, and Marvin he was a state champion long jumper, by the way. I probably don't know that, for Willingboro. And
you and Marvin might be the only people who know that.
And he asked Buddy to run him, and Buddy just got a stop. He always had a stopwatch, and he ran him. He ran really fast. I forget his time, but they signed him, and then he caught a touchdown on his first NFL snap.
And that was his only NFL catch.
His only NFL catch. What was it, 36 yards?
34.
Oh, man.
You don't right now know where your keys are.
I don't.
And you almost got
myself by 2 yards.
Marvin Hargrove's only career reception.
I ran into Marv a couple years later, and I asked what he's doing. He said, "I'm living off my buddy Ryan's scholarship."
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he just showed up at the stadium. And, of course, once they signed him, a bunch of other people would show up.
That's the problem with doing that.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to get into my 53-man roster. We'll answer some questions, and then we'll get ready to head to New England.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Eagles fans, get ready for Nashville. Join Eagles Fan Travel as we take over Music City. Enjoy premium hotels, guaranteed game tickets, and unforgettable game day experiences. Don't miss one of the hottest road trips of 2026. Book now at eaglesfantravel.com. Back here on the Eagle Eye Podcast, brought to you by Nissan. Reuben, I'm pulling it up now, my 53-man roster projection after the first preseason game. It'll probably be the final one I do until right before cut down day. We've seen, at this point, 11 practices, 1 preseason game. Let's just go through it, huh?
Let's do it.
You tell me if you agree, if you disagree.
I disagree.
At quarterback, I kept 3. Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, and Cole Payton. I have Andy Dalton as the odd man out. This is, to me, one of the toughest decisions to make when you're putting together the 53 right now.
It is, and I think there's a chance they'll keep 4. I think it's unlikely. I think if either Dalton or Tanner had been, well, I mean, we'll see. There's still 2 more preseason games. They're going to play a lot, but I just don't see a reason to keep both of them. I don't see it. I don't know what you can get for Andy Dalton, 38 years old at this point, especially if he doesn't play well, but I don't think he'll be here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he would probably have more value. I think maybe not more value, but I think teams would be more willing to trade for him than Tanner McKee, just because he's a veteran. He's done this a long time. You kind of know what you're going to get, whereas there's a little more question about Tanner McKee, probably.
Probably.
Not saying here, but around the league, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, there hasn't been a training camp story like this in a while that I just really don't have a good grasp on, and I'll be honest about that. Like, I kind of don't know what they're doing. Even like it feels like wonky during practices, the way they kind of rotate those guys in. And I understand that maybe it's by design because that's the nature of backup quarterback. You have to be ready to go in at all times. It's been a little weird.
It has. And boy, they were both just, I mean, they didn't get a lot of help, penalties, drops and everything, but yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. Running back, I kept 3. Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby, and Will Shipley.
Yeah, and there was a point where I really thought Dameon Pierce was going to beat out Will Shipley for that 3rd spot, but he's been hurt. Can't make the club in the tub. I thought Will Shipley had a couple good runs. I think he had a couple 8-yard runs. His final stats were not great. He had a loss on his last carry, but it wasn't really his fault. But I thought he ran hard. I think he's a good special teamer. I think he'll be here. Yeah,
he is a good special teamer. He can return kicks. He's the personal protector on the punt unit.
Yeah.
It would have, like, Dameon Pierce would have really needed to outplay him to win that job. And I don't know. Do you see him possibly keeping 4? I don't see the need for that.
No.
Okay. Receiver. This is another tough one. I had them keeping 5. Devontae Smith, Dontavian Wicks, Mekhi Lemon, Darius Cooper, and Hollywood Brown. You can make the case they should keep 6. And if they keep 6, maybe it's Johnny Wilson. Maybe it's Elijah Moore. How would you have handled receiver?
Yeah, it is a tough one. And there was a point where I thought Johnny Wilson was probably going to make the team. But it's tough because they gave Hollywood Brown money and they didn't give Elijah Moore money. Elijah Moore's been better than Hollywood.
Let me ask you this. Like, if you're Howie and Nick making these decisions, do you base it all off of what you've seen in front of you at training camp, or with a guy like Hollywood Brown, who's had a productive career, who's not like 40? I mean, he's around 29 years old, was just relatively productive last season, had 500 and some yards with the Chiefs. Do you weigh that? Like, hey, this guy's been productive, consistent in the NFL.
I mean, Elijah Moore had some decent years too.
Yeah, but not like Hollywood.
Well, I mean, from, I guess, the 4 years up through 24, he averaged like 500 yards per season.
I'm looking at Elijah Moore. So 538, 446, 640, 538. Last year,
he averaged 50 catches during that 4-year span.
112. I mean, Hollywood's had better numbers for longer.
A little bit better numbers. Not. I would keep. Well, I mean,
584, 769, over 1,000, over 700.
Yeah.
574, had the injury year in 2024, and then last year 587.
I mean, he's had a better career. Elijah Moore hasn't been a slouch, but I think you have to keep Hollywood just because of the guaranteed money.
But do you weigh in?
Yeah, I weigh in everything.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that a guy's had production in the league, I think you have to take that into account.
Yeah. And maybe the coaches don't do that, but hey, we know who's making the 53. It's Howie. And I think that's a good thing. I think he's able to see practice, but also zoom out a little bit too.
Is there a chance they keep Elijah Moore and Hollywood and try to get Darius Cooper on the practice squad?
Maybe. I think it's unlikely. I think he's done enough to earn a spot. And when I think it sends a bad message when a guy who's relatively established because he was on the roster last year is maybe the player of camp, and you don't. I think sometimes you got to let guys earn spots.
Yeah.
And I think it sends a bad message to the team if a guy like Darius Cooper gets cut.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Tight end, I have them keeping 4. Dallas Goedert, Eli Stowers, Johnny Munt, and Cameron Latu. Eli Stowers might be gearing up for a redshirt season. I don't know how much he's going to play. I've been pretty unimpressed by him all camp. Even in the game, I know he had a few catches, but they were minimal.
A couple 3-yarders just before halftime.
Yeah, Johnny Munt has been the second tight end in 12 personnel. Maybe this is still a position where they try to add at some point, but they're obviously not cutting Eli Stowers, so he has to take up a roster spot. So I think those 3 are safe. And then Cam Latu, I like the lead blocking aspect he brings you, and I think he's an excellent special teams player.
I think you're right on both of those, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do claim a tight end and end up releasing Latu.
Okay. The difference is Latu fills a specific
he's different
role. Yeah, he's different. And I think maybe they would add someone who would just be an upgrade at the tight end position. But if they're going to play Johnny Munt, I don't know what would be the point of that unless he's going to replace Johnny Munt.
Yeah, I mean, how we might think we need to get another receiving tight end in here. I mean, Calcaterra, I don't know.
Yeah, Grant's hurt now. I think he's had a whatever training camp.
Yeah, I agree. But he can catch the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that Cam Latu won't end up being here, and there'll be somebody else.
Interesting.
Try to upgrade that spot.
Poor Michael Clay.
Yeah.
Me and Michael Clay's ever guys, just give me one player that I want.
I mean, it might be Keeley.
Okay.
Keeley might be a guy who just makes the team because you probably won't make it as a corner, make it as a special teamer. But that's the problem with Stowers kind of being so unspectacular this camp is, can you go into the season relying on him to be your second pass catching? Munt will be tight end 2 as far as being a blocker. He's not a big receiver. So do you want a second guy who can catch the ball? That's what it's going to come down to.
I mean, how the problem is what happens if Goddard gets hurt? And he was healthy last year. Before that, he wasn't to me, that's a scary concept. What if Dallas Goedert gets hurt in week 1 and then your tight ends are Johnny Munt and Eli Stowers?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there'll be somebody, maybe you put Calcaterra on the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a locker away. He's been here. 2 years ago, he made some plays as a receiver, some significant plays. Not so much last year, but that could be the way they go.
Yeah. Offensive line, I kept 10. Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, Lane Johnson. Those 5 are the starters. The backups, Markel Bell, Fred Johnson, Drew Kendall, Willie Lampkin, Micah Morris.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. If they keep 10, you have the 3 interior backups, the 2 offensive tackle backups. I feel better about their O-line depth than I did maybe 3 weeks ago before camp.
Yeah, seeing Drew Kendall and Willie Lampkin has done a lot because
and Markel.
Sure. I always felt fine about Fred because he's played so much. If you have to rely on Fred at tackle, you know what you're going to get. It's not going to be Mailata or Lane Johnson, but how many teams have backups that good? So it's like you feel okay about that. Interior, I was concerned because I know they were high on Drew Kendall, but we need to see it, and I think we've seen it this summer. And then Willie Lampkin, everyone's a fan of that guy, the way he's been playing.
Yeah. Out of the guys who you're cutting, Miles Hinton, Cameron Williams, Michael Jordan, John Ojukwu, Jake Majors, Holland Pierce was released, I believe, today.
Yeah. I wrote this before you got released.
Yeah. Any of those you think has a fair shot?
I know you like a Jake Majors. I don't.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a spot.
Okay, I don't see how that can happen.
Because Micah Morris isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, honestly, not really. Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams were 6th-round picks last year, but I just haven't seen enough from them to make the roster.
Yeah.
I think, frankly, the other guys have outplayed them. And I like Miles. I think there was something there last year with them. He didn't play very well in the game. It looks like the experiment with him and guard might be over. Yeah. I had him on my initial 53 going in the camp because I thought, okay, he has that versatility. Willie Lampkin's better.
He's just better.
He's a better player.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle, I kept 6. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ojimo, Byron Young, Ty Robinson, and Uar Bernard.
I think Ty Robinson might have made the team not just Saturday night, but over the last week.
He's turned the corner a little bit. Yeah. It was a rough start for him this summer. I mean, just looking at him out there in the developmental period next to a guy who never played football, you're going, oh my God, this is not what you want from a guy who they were high on last year as a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, but I think he's played. I mean, as a 4, you're going to get some leeway. And I think the combination of him playing better, he made a couple plays Saturday night, had a personal foul, but made a couple plays. And the fact that he's a 4, that's going to be enough to keep him. And I do think they're going to keep 6. We might see Gabe Hall at some point. I'm sure they'll try to get him on the practice squad.
Honestly, it's been a quiet summer for Gabe Hall.
It has.
He was really good last summer, made the initial 53. I haven't really noticed him much this summer.
They do seem to like him, but Uar.
Yeah, how do you feel about Uar making the team? I put him on here because they've just invested too much in him to give up on it or to risk losing him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, assuming you don't get him hurt, I would not subject him to waivers.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to lose him.
Yeah, and he's someone who I think will get claimed.
I think so too. I mean, Saturday, look, it was his first game ever, and he showed up a little bit. And teams are going to look at him and say, "Give me a year with him, and he'll be a player." It's
amazing. I watched that. I rewatched that touchdown run, and he misses a tackle, and I'm still like, "Yeah, but he got off the block. He did the hard part, and he tried to tackle him. He didn't tackle him, but I almost don't even care. It was just impressive to watch him get off that block. You see the strength, and you just see the vision with him.
Yeah.
Edge rushers.
Yeah.
I kept 5, and this was the other tough decision for me. Jonathan Grenard, Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, Arnold Ebiketie, AJ Epinesa. I think those 5 are pretty safe. I cut Joshua Weru. That was tough.
Yeah, that's a tough cut.
I just can't. My view on this was I just can't use 2 roster spots on guys who we know aren't going to contribute right away and can't.
And you could probably get Weru through waivers, I would think.
And I think you have a better shot of getting him through waivers than Uar Bernard.
Probably. But it's a risk, and you've invested some time in him, and you'd hate to lose him.
And he's flashed more than Uar.
He has.
Clear.
Yeah. But, I mean, teams might see the way he played the other night and say, I want to develop this guy and claim him. If he does get through waivers, he's a slam dunk for the practice squad.
Sure. Linebacker, Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Smile Mondin, Chance Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, Vic basically told us Chance Campbell's going to make the team. Don't leave him off your list, guys.
Look, Vic's not making the roster, but if Vic Fangio wants Chance Campbell, he probably gets Chance Campbell.
Yeah, I would think so. And he should be a good special teamer.
Mm-hmm.
Big athletic linebacker who can run. Deontay Lawson,
Flashed a little bit in that game, huh?
He did.
Yeah, they have too many.
Yeah.
Too many, like we joke about it every podcast now. They just have too many linebackers. And like people have asked me, would they trade Trotter or Mondin? I don't think so. Like you're not going to trade one of those guys now. I wouldn't think.
I mean, if somebody offers you a pick for Smile Mondin, probably take it.
Would you?
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
that pick doesn't help you this year. He might help you this year.
But I mean, if you feel good enough about Chance Campbell, and we know you feel good about Trot, maybe Mondin's expendable.
Maybe, but like he's going into year 2.
Yeah. But
so
if somebody offers you a pick,
I wouldn't. I don't think. I mean, it would.
It's not going to be a 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a 4 for Smile Mondin.
No.
I
would take a 4. I don't think you'll get a 4. I was thinking maybe a 5.
Why would you take a pick right now for that player? I think he's worth developing.
I mean, if you like your depth at linebacker that much, I mean, we know how he feels about picks.
I guess, but you just drafted this guy. He was just a pick.
I get that. But at that point, did you know how good Trot would be? Did you know how that Chance Campbell would be a player?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
I just don't like the idea. Like, the only way I think I would trade a player for a draft pick now is if he's not going to make the team. And you're like, let me get something for him. Howie can manufacture draft picks later on.
Smile's going to make the team, but I mean,
Deontay Lawson's someone that, yeah, like you hope he gets through waivers.
Yeah.
And look, most of these guys do. We always talk about, oh man, they don't want to lose this player. Most of these guys they cut are going to get through waivers.
The old Henry Josie rule.
Mm-hmm.
Guy told me on Twitter, you're a moron if you think he's going to get through waivers.
Yeah, most guys.
He got through waivers and nobody ever signed him.
Cornerback 6: Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Reek Woolen, Jonathan Jones, Mac McWilliams, Keely Ringo. I kept 6. They might not keep 6. If they keep 5, I think Ringo's probably off the team. I don't think Mac McWilliams has this teammate either, but he didn't have a good game, but I liked what I saw from him over the last week or so of practices.
I wonder if they might keep Keely over Mac. Keely's a very good special teamer.
Mm-hmm.
And the play he made the other night, I mean, you start thinking, well, if who would you rather have as an emergency corner if they had to play?
Mac McWilliams.
Maybe. I don't know how Vic feels.
Hey, and Keely's still ahead of him on the depth chart a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not. I don't know. It's tough to tell. Mac was out today.
I think Mac's had a better summer.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I take that back. Mac is probably ahead of him on the depth chart.
Mac's had a good summer. Keely was a 4?
Yeah.
A few years ago. I wonder if Keely's tradable.
I think he is. We've talked about that. I brought that up. They traded Sidney Brown. Especially if you're going to cut him, I think Howie's going to try to trade him.
Sure.
I only kept 3 safeties. Drew Makubo, Marcus Epps, and Michael Carter. So I have Cole Wisniewski, Andre Sam, Kapena Gushikin, Maximus Pulley, JT Gray getting cut. This is a spot where let's see how the rest of training camp goes, especially now that Wisniewski's back at practice. I think with a strong push, he could make this team. I know 3 safeties is light, but you have Cooper DeJean who can play safety, who's already doing it in the base package. I feel like a lot of those players are going to clear waivers anyway. You can get them back to the practice squad. If I had to keep a 4th right now, it will be Maximus Pulley, but I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I was wondering who you would say for the. I think Andre Sam has had a pretty good summer. They seem to like him. I know if all things being equal, you'd like to keep the rookie draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what Wiz can do over these next couple of weeks if he can kind of work himself back in that picture. You love his size. He's just missed so much time.
Yeah. Let's see how he does over the next week or so. And then the specialists, Jake Elliott, Braden Mann, Rocco Underwood. I kept Rocco Underwood. They might not. They might keep their eye wandering a little bit, trying to find a different long snapper, but I have him on the roster for now.
Yeah. More likely he'll be here than not.
Okay. That's all I had. Joint practices. You pretty excited?
Yeah. Always. I wish we had a little more space to watch than that one little plot of land behind the one goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Cleveland, we could go all over any of the fields when we had joint practices out there. Jets, we had pretty much run of the land, Florham Park, but kind of you can't see the back of the two fields. Like it's hard to. I'll bring my binoculars.
Good,
but yeah, looking forward to it.
Should we get to some questions?
Yeah.
All right. If you have a question for us, it's eagleeye@nbcuni.com. If you're watching on YouTube, there's that QR code. You can scan that and send us a question that way. The first one today is from Andrew. Hey, Dave and Rube, thanks for providing great insight to fans outside of the Philadelphia area. You gave a great recommendation for last year's open practice at the Link, and me and my boys loved coming down from Massachusetts for it. This year, the Eagles are holding joint practices in our backyard. We're going to attend both days and wondered if you have any tips for attending a joint practice as we never have as fans.
Tips? Bring binoculars. They'll probably have a better vantage point than we will.
So here's what I'll say, like, just to know how a practice works, like these two teams will start the warm up by themselves, like the Patriots on one side, the Eagles on the other. They'll go through like stretch, they'll go through individual periods and like position drills, and then they will meet for work against each other. They'll probably start with 7-on-7s on one field, like Eagles offense, Pats defense, and vice versa. But then keep an eye during that period if they're on 7-on-7s for the 1-on-1s. That's the offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. Those are always a lot of fun, especially when you get these joint practices. And then when they go to full team drills, 11-on-11s, they'll split fields. It'll be Eagles offense versus Pats defense on one field, and then vice versa on the other. So think about what you want to watch. If you want to watch A.J. Brown against Quinyon Mitchell, try to watch the Patriots offense. If you want to watch Devontae Smith against Christian Gonzalez, you know where to go. It's just know that you're probably not going to be able to see everything if you're really watching practice like that.
And I would say print out rosters for both teams because there's going to be players there that you just don't know who they are. Print out a roster for the Eagles, for the Patriots, so you kind of have your libretto there you can read off of.
Yeah, should be fun, though. Enjoy it. Next one here from Nathan. Hey, guys, hope you're doing well. I tried calling the other day, but I guess the connection down here in rural New Zealand isn't the greatest. The question I had is about Tanner McKee. Is his trade value gone? He hasn't really looked good at all the past season or so when he's had opportunities, combined with the fact that Howie Roseman went out and got Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that I'm not sure how high his value was even like after 24. He looked good. He didn't play that much. It was really 2 games against bad teams. So I'm not sure how high his value ever was, but I don't think it's super high now.
It might have been a case back then of like, we're in this area and we see them all the time. We might have overvalued Tanner McKee in Philadelphia compared to his value around the league. Now, yeah, I don't think he has a ton of value right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why, like, I think he has more value to the Eagles than he has to other teams, which is why in my 53, that was part of my thought process when I kept him over Andy Dalton.
Right.
From Scott. Hey, guys, first of all, the landline call during the postgame pod was hilarious. It makes me wonder, in all your podcasts, what is the weirdest thing that has happened to you during one? What's the strangest thing you left in? What's the strangest thing you edited out?
Oh, man, I don't remember. I don't know. I know that we were doing the pod in the car. I probably shouldn't even say that. We were doing a pod in the car driving up to Buffalo, and like a state trooper went by us.
We weren't doing anything wrong. We were just like having a conversation with microphones.
Yeah, but I mean, we just both like put our mics down real quick till the trooper went by us.
I wasn't holding one.
I think we were using one mic.
Yeah. So I think I was driving, but I wasn't holding one. We were just talking. Now we have video for all the pods, so that'd be tough.
Yeah.
So for me, like when I'm on the road for games, I always just try to find an empty booth. And, I've had, how many cleaning people have I had like give me stink eyes and which they're trying to do their job and go home. I get it. But I've had that. There's always sometimes there's a battle between me and other people for those booths because other people have podcasts or videos or whatever else to do.
How about in Dallas? We were in the middle of a podcast when a tornado basically went through our neighborhood. It was raining so hard we could hear it on the roof of the AT&T Stadium in the middle of the pod.
We've had some wild weather out there.
And then we saw there was a monitor on, and we saw tornado warning around AT&T Stadium. And then we were smart enough to drive back to the hotel in a tornado.
Yeah. And as far as
we're driving, Dave's I think I'm on the wrong side of the road. Remember that?
I couldn't see anything.
Couldn't see a thing.
As far as editing stuff, we try not to edit this pod. Really, we have great editors who can do it, but we try to just let the flow of consciousness go. There are times where something happens and the quality gets messed up and we have to do it, but we try to just do it in one shot.
Yeah, the only times we would edit something out is if there was a technical issue,
or I had to physically get up and move because I couldn't be in that closet where I'm trying, wherever I'm trying to do a pod from. From Andy, hey Dave and Reuben, thanks for the great camp coverage. I'm curious what rules are in place for the media when you're at practice or in the facility. I saw our old friend Christian Parker taking some flack in the media this week after complaining about how many clips from Cowboys practice were making it to social media. I know there were certain practices or sessions you're not allowed to attend, but what other rules does the team put in place for you as journalists? Thanks for continuing to be the best in the biz.
Thank you. So at training camp, you're allowed to take pictures or video, and this goes for fans and also for the TV cameras for about the first 25 minutes or so. It depends how long practice is.
And honestly, cuts it before even, they get into team drills.
Yeah, so you can do kind of warm-ups and individual. And then but the thing is, there's how many fans are at these practices? There's hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 6 security guards. So if they see you holding up a phone and shooting video of a play, they'll stop you. But there's more people than security guards.
But I don't really see a lot of plays get out.
Yeah, I don't either. But that's what the rule is. You do see people shooting them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I don't really know.
Yeah, no, I don't see. I haven't really seen many of those plays get out.
Yeah,
which is that's good for the team. They don't want that stuff out there. I know the Eagles have people to scour the internet. Dallas, you're gonna let your plays be videotaped, and that's probably why CP knows it, is because they did it. They would have people kind of go online and see what plays were showing up and see if they could use them, because you're running you don't want to do that in the preseason. Everyone's vanilla. You got to run your stuff in practice. So if you're going to let people shoot it and put it out there, this is the NFL. They have a staff that can comb that stuff and find out what you're doing. And that's all legal. If it's out there publicly, they're going to use it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's
not like they're videotaping it from a drone. People are putting it out on the internet.
Well, I guess the practices up in Foxborough are open to fans. There'll be thousands and thousands of fans there. I don't know how you stop everyone from.
Yeah, that's a little different. And that's when the Eagles have their public practice,
they'll make an announcement. Yeah, no more.
Nothing you can do.
There's 50,000 people.
Let's finish it here with John. Hi, Dave and Rube. Are we sure there isn't a starting linebacker competition going on between Jeremiah Trotter and Jihad Campbell?
Yeah. I get what you're getting at. Jihad played in the game the other night. He was a first-round pick. I think he's going to be really good this year. He's a starter. And Trott's really good. I'd be fine if he was starting, if somebody got hurt, but I think that's Jihad's job.
Yeah, I think you could talk me into maybe there's you're right. They drafted him in the first round. They made him the starter last summer when I thought Trotter outplayed him in all of training camp. Remember, Zach Bond missed a ton of time last training camp. So Trotter, this is not the first time we've seen him get extended reps, and they still went with Jihad Campbell last year.
And I don't think Jihad's done anything to lose the job. I think he's had a good camp.
Yeah, I think he's been really active. I think he's flashed a lot.
Yeah, I agree. He'll be fun to watch this week at joint practices. I think he'll acquit himself well.
Do you buy the Nick Sirianni explanation on why Campbell played? Basically that, hey, young guy, hasn't played a lot. especially at the end of last year. We just wanted to get him reps.
Yeah.
Because he was the only starter on either side of the ball to play.
Yeah. He played well. What's your most likely fight in Foxborough?
I haven't thought about the Patriots roster, so I'll just give you like an Eagle. I'll go Tyler Steen.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw him fight the Commanders, like all of the Commanders, I like that edge to him. It probably won't be Morrow or Fred Johnson just because they probably don't want to get in another fight and get read the riot act again. Morrow, by the way, talked about it a little bit today. We spoke to him after practice, and he just said, hey, like, it happens, but it was my bad. Like, I can't do that. You got to be smarter.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to go A.J. Brown and Ambry Thomas.
I don't know if A.J. Brown's going to be on the field at the same time as Ambry Thomas.
They don't have to be on the field at the same time.
Ambry Thomas just like comes out of nowhere. Yeah. He apparently just hated him the whole time.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know in what world they're lining up against each other.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
When
either.
The ones go against the threes.
Could be. Yeah. That's my fight, though.
Okay. How about that? How do you think AJ is going to, like, what do you think it's going to be like seeing AJ up there?
It's going to be fun. And I'm sure, like, most of these guys are friends with him. I don't think there's a lot of guys that don't like him. Players don't look at these things the same way fans do. But I think it's going to be fun watching him work. And it looks like Q is full today, so he'll be out there. I think it'll be great work. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
It'll be fun. And look, we know Q is a trash talker. And like, I think, like, even though those two got along and I think they were friendly and maybe even friends while AJ was here, neither one of them's going to want to lose that. So I think it's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah, Q certainly won't back down, and neither will AJ. It'll be fun.
All right, if you have a question for us, eagle@nbcuni.com, QR code on the screen. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast, you know what to do. Rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, click the like button and subscribe there as well. Reuben, any final thoughts?
No. Looking forward to my morning on Amtrak tomorrow.
Okay.
And see everyone in Foxborough.
Sounds good. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.